and you're live.
Good Saturday morning. I'm KG 11 Meteorologist Chris Ramirez. This time for our 11 a.m. update of our storm and rain potential as we head into this afternoon. We are seeing some light showers moving through our area. We're seeing some wet roadways across Conroe, and we did see some rain out there in Montgomery County, but 62 degrees out there in Conroe, so it's significantly warmed up from what we were seeing earlier this morning. Elsewhere, it's not as cold. We are in the 70s across most of our area, with the Bush Airport at 70 degrees, 74 at Pearland, Conroe 62. However, we're going to see these hit or miss showers through the day, but it's this evening where we are going to see that rain chance start increasing, especially the strong storm potential. So between the hours of 8 p.m. and 3 a.m. is when we will see the arrival of storms, all thanks to a cold front that will be sweeping through southeast Texas. And so the threats do include tornado, wind, and hail threats. So if you do have those travel plans later on this evening, you might want to get a head start on that, or give yourself enough time to heading to our two airports, especially at Bush and Hobby. Looking at the rest of our day as we time this out, like I said, between the hours of 8 p.m. through 10 p.m. is when we will start seeing that storm chance start increasing for us here across the Houston area. We will see some storms, and they're going to be more so isolated through the early afternoon hours, but like I said, it's not going to be until later this evening when we will see those temperatures start warming up, and we will see the arrival of this cold front. Are you heading anywhere across the country? If you are taking a flight out towards Chicago or maybe Nashville, they are looking at some delays. This is a part of a big weather system that is moving through the country, and we are on the tail end of that, and this is actually bringing some widespread snow across portions of the Midwest, at least for today. And so keep that in mind. We are seeing some delays out there, especially at our area airports across the Midwest, especially out at Chicago and in Nashville, but not seeing any issues right now at Army airports here across Houston. That could change later this evening, but right now the rain is more so light in nature. As we look at radar right now, the time currently is 11:03, and we are starting to see some showers starting to move into our western areas across the Houston area. And these are light showers. These are not strong storms. So just keep in mind that we're going to start seeing our roadways become wet and slick out there if you are heading west of Houston, especially along I-10, 290. We're seeing those showers in wet conditions moving on in. But as we time this out, and like I said before, it's not until 8 p.m. is when we're going to start seeing those storms start moving into our northern and western areas. That's going to be associated with a cold front that's going to start sweeping into southeast Texas, and that is going to really, the timing with this is going to be between the hours of 11 p.m. and 12:30 a.m. and is when we could start seeing these storms move into the Houston area, and this is where we could see damaging winds as well as that isolated hail and tornado threat. So at least have two or more ways to receive those weather alerts later on this evening, because this is going to be a late evening event, and then eventually by the 2 o'clock 3 a.m. hour, I'm going to back that up just a bit there. From 2 to 3 a.m. is when we're going to start seeing that moving into our coastal areas from Freeport, Angleton, even Galveston, seeing the share of strong storms as that front moves just offshore, and eventually rain chances ending into Sunday morning. And that's when we're going to start seeing a surge of cooler temperatures in place. So as we time out the cooler temperatures, we have been chilly for the past couple of days, but like I said, another surge of cooler temperatures on the way, and we are going to see those temps drop into the 50s and 40s, only getting up into the upper 50s for Sunday, and then even for Monday we were going to be just a little bit cooler. However, Monday is going to be a little bit of an interesting day because we are heading back to work and school, and we are expecting another disturbance to arrive, and that is going to keep our rain chances in the forecast at least through the start of next week. So we have our frontal boundary moving through, but our models are indicating that as we head into Monday, we're going to see another disturbance moving in from the west, and that's going to keep that rain and storms in the picture for the start of our week as you head back to work and school. And so as we combine that rain chance with the arrival of the surge of cooler temperatures, we are going to be off to a cold and rainy start to our Monday, especially as you see these temps right here in the 40s, rain. It's not really going to be a good day for any outdoor plans for Monday or just in general, because we're going to be cold and wet for Monday. But like I said, the main thing here is to really time out what's going to be happening here across later on today. It's of course 2 days after Thanksgiving, folks probably want to be outside and go out on the town, but just keep in mind that if you are planning to go out tonight, it is going to be a little bit stormy out there across Houston between 8 p.m. and 3 a.m. and we do have a tornado wind and hail threat. We can't really play around with these threats because, like we saw last Monday, it didn't take much for a strong storm to spit out a tornado, and like we saw out in northwestern Harris County out in the Klein area. And so we just want to give you a heads up, and that's the reason why we are issuing this weather impact alert day, and we're spending some time talking about the weather impacts as it is a big travel period as folks are probably heading outside of Houston for Thanksgiving, post-Thanksgiving, or probably heading back into town later on today. So just keep in mind that we do have hit or miss showers through the day, but we will see that rain chance start ramping up between 8 p.m. and midnight is when we could start seeing more of those stronger storms moving into our northern areas, especially from Huntsville to Livingston. They're going to be moving south. So if you have any travel plans, maybe go heading to Dallas or even towards San Antonio, give yourself a head start before those storms arrive later on today. So as we can take one more look at our radar right now, if you are leaving Houston, just keep in mind that we do see some widespread snow happening right now out in the Chicago area, out in the Midwest. So there is some airport delays out there. But right now, as we zoom out here across Texas, we still have the arrival of this front that's just causing some isolated showers across I-45 up towards the Dallas area. I think the initial frontal system is actually moving through Dallas right now, and that's going to start racing southward as we progress through the day into this evening. And so that's when we could start seeing this combined with the surge of moisture that we're getting from the Gulf right now. So as you probably head outside right now here in Houston, we are starting off mostly warm and a little bit humid. That's really kind of the cause of the severe weather risk for today. So when we have that surge of moisture from the Gulf in combination with this front that's heading in from the north, that really does create a severe weather environment, and that's what we're seeing for this evening. So just keep in mind that the warmer the temps are today is the more higher severe threat later on today, as we are getting another front on the way that could bring some widespread storms later on this evening. So keep in mind and keep that timing, like I said, between 8 p.m. and midnight is when we will start seeing these storms move through the Houston area later on today. And like I said, look at the future track here. We're going to start seeing those storms becoming a bit stronger from Brenham to Columbus between 8:30, and then by 10:30 midnight, we will start seeing those storms move through the Houston area, and we could see some rumbles of thunder as well as dangerous lightning and some ponding on roadways. So if you are heading out tonight, I think it's going to be one of those nights to be extra cautious and at least have 2 or more ways to receive those weather alerts as we progress through the evening hours, as this is going to continue to pushing south towards Galveston and Freeport through 3 to 4 a.m. So a stormy night expected here across southeast Texas. And then again, once we combine this with the rain chances and the rain potential for Monday, we could get a total rainfall between 2 and 3 inches. This is the total rainfall, just timing it out all through Monday until Monday. So it's not like this is going to fall all tonight, but we will see this through Monday, be between 2 to 3 inches of rainfall across the Houston area, and which is good news for us in terms of the drought situation. But of course, as we get those high rainfall amounts in a little amount of time, we could be looking at some ponding on roadways through later on this evening as well as into Monday as well. So 7 days forecast, weather impact alert for today. Rain and storms happening later in the later hours for today. We do have some lingering showers into Sunday. I think most of Sunday is going to be mostly just calm, gloomy, more of a dreary start to our week for next week. Rain chances will start increasing on Monday. It's going to be a very cold day, gloomy, rainy, with temperatures only getting in the 40s. Not going to see much sun at least until Tuesday, where temps are going to start gradually warming up into the 40s and 50s. But looking at Thursday, there is another chance for another system to bring even more showers and storms for the end of our week. So we're looking at a pretty active next 7 days here across the Houston area, even though we did have Thankfully, we had a perfect Thanksgiving day here across Houston with sunny skies, and the temps were just not too hot. It definitely felt much like fall, but just keep in mind, starting today, we will start seeing those rain chances start increasing, as well as that storm threat increase for us, as well as those storms are going to start moving through between 8 and 9 p.m., lasting at least until 1 to 2 a.m., especially for our coastal areas. So keep that in mind. Have 2 or more ways to receive weather alerts. You can always get the latest forecast and the latest weather updates on KHOU.com, as well as on the KHOU 11 app. And we will be back here in a couple of hours to give you another update on KHOU 11 Plus on the timing for tonight's storms. And of course, make sure to tune in tonight with meteorologist Pat Kavlin. He will have more for you as these storms move into our area today, here affecting us here across the Houston area. So definitely stay safe out there and get all those travel plans done ahead of time before the storms arrive later tonight, because we do have a severe weather threat. Again, I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your latest weather update here across Southeast Texas. Have a good rest of your day.